Coming off of record years, the housing market ended in a deep freeze according to Zillow economist Jeff Tucker. But the question is, will the spring market start to fall out? Make sure you hit the subscribe button to stay on top of all of the latest Huntsville, Alabama real estate news. One of the things that stood out to me in this report is that the national stats reported by Zillow are very much in line with what we're seeing here locally in Huntsville. The first stat that popped out was pendings dropped 32.5% nationally. They've also dropped 32% here locally, 32.2%. New listings have dropped 27.8% nationally and then 27% locally. The one stat that was a little bit off versus national versus local was home values. Home values are up 8.4% year over year nationally and only 3.2% locally, but I think a little bit of that has to do with seasonality, so I wouldn't factor too much into that. Another stat that stood out to me is the percentage of listings that sold above list price. Obviously, a very hot market last year, you would expect that number to be high. November 2021, that number was 44.1%, and then last month in December, it was at 27.9%. So we went from 1 and 2 selling above list price to 1 and 4, which is still a very high number, showing that we're still in a seller's market. I do think that number is likely to decrease in 2023 and then likely increase once we see rates significantly drop again. So the stat that stood out to me most on this Zillow national report is the number of new listings that came active in December. A lot of people are wondering why we're not seeing price depreciation, prices dropping in 2023 and even into the later 2022. And the reason for that is simple economics, supply and demand. We definitely have less demand with interest rates rising. That's showing up in the 32.2% drop here locally in terms of number of homes being sold. But we also have lack of supply. There's fewer homes coming available on the market. In fact, we had the lowest number of listings coming on the market nationally in 4 years in December of 2018 at about 198,000 new listings. That's 197,994 new listings, which is why we're seeing prices being flat. We're having fewer listings and also fewer sales. Another good sign for the housing market is that rental rates are actually starting to decline the rate of appreciation, which is a good sign for stabilization within the market. They actually declined 0.3% month over month in December. And the reason this is good for not only rentals, but also housing prices in general, at least for buyers, is that as rental rates start to stabilize, that lowers the price in which investors are willing to pay for a home. Over the last couple of years, they're willing to pay above list price and bid up homes because rental rates were rising so fast, they were paying for future cash flow. So the average rent is now $1,981 per month. And you compare that to the Zillow national home price average, and with current interest rates and a 20% down payment assumption, the purchase price, the mortgage price is $1,795. So it is still cheaper to not only buy a home versus rent, but then we also factor in all the appreciation, mortgage pay down, and then also the tax benefits of buying as well. Buying is still a no-brainer in this market. Mortgage rates are dropping and creating additional interest on the buyer side. Zillow economist Jeff Tucker said that if this continues to happen, you might expect to see even a normal or even a boring market in 2023, which is contrary to what a lot of people have been predicting. They've been predicting volatility, dramatically lower sales. And so if interest rates come down to a certain point, he's thinking that's going to be a more normal market, a 2017, 2018, 2019 type market. Mortgage rates are dropping and increasing buyer demand, but the question is, how will the mortgage rate lockdown effect affect sellers entering this marketplace? A lot of sellers and homeowners have interest rates starting in the 2s or 3s, so what interest rate are they motivated enough to re-enter the marketplace? Our own internal survey showed this as well. 41% of the people polled showed that they were interested in buying a home in 2023, yet only 27% were interested in selling a home in 2023. That's a gap of 14%, and we're going to have to make up that supply-demand imbalance for this to continue to be a healthy market. Another thing that we surveyed our buyers is that of the people that aren't planning on buying in 2023, At what interest rate would you be motivated to get back into the marketplace? And for the majority of buyers, that number was 4.5%. Ironically, that's also the 20-year national average for interest rates in the US. So 4.5% is a key interest rate to be looking at. Another key interest rate to be looking at is 5.5%, because as we were in rates in the 2s, going into the 3s and 4s, and even into the mid 5s, we still saw a strong seller's market. It was when we went north of 5.5% when things started to balance out. So the thing for us to watch is as interest rates start to decrease and there's more buyers into the marketplace, what will sellers do? And if there's not enough sellers that are motivated enough to enter the market, that's going to create an appreciating market again. And many people are even predicting double-digit appreciation rates again, potentially as early as 2024 or perhaps into 2025. Another stat to be looking at is one of the stats that made Huntsville one of the top 10 markets, real estate markets to be looking at in 2023 by the National Association of Realtors. And that stat was 29% of local renters can't afford the average price range in Huntsville. And so as these renters transition from renting to buying, expect to see another boom here in our local market. So if that's you, if you're looking to transition from renting to buying, or if you're looking to sell your home in 2023, shoot us an email at moving@mattcurtisrealestate.com. Again, moving@mattcurtisrealestate.com.